Hello and welcome back to Wargaming with me, Garry. Quite an interesting one today, I think it's very interesting. I've been tagged by Rusty from Hellcarex26, who was tagged himself, I believe, by Doug from Ainsley Hobbies. That's it, from Ainsley Hobbies. Just have to check. And the idea is that what you do is when you're tagged, you have to identify 3 hobbies outside of the community, the hobby that we're all involved in. So and I would say that they are 2 separate hobbies. So the first one is obviously painting the figures or collecting the figures, or having war games with the figures. The other hobby, which I see very separately, is the videos we make on YouTube. So the idea, so I think the idea is that we talk outside of them, other hobbies that we're interested in. So we identify 3 hobbies, and then we tag 3 other people, and I think it's a really good idea. So I was very keen to take part, and I was very flattered that I was picked out. I seem to have been picked out quite early, which is not the usual style for me. I'm normally the little fat kid in the in the playground when everyone else they choose all around me and then pick the girl and then me. that's normally me. So I'm very honoured. I'm very pleased to do this. So with no further ado, let's get cracking. I'm going to put my glass on because I've made some notes because I don't want to ramble, because I think this could end up being quite a long video. I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anybody who watches my videos to know that I am fanatically interested. I'm just cleaning these glasses up. Fanatically interested in rugby. Love it. Eat it and breathe it. I cannot get enough of rugby. There are 2 main areas: England rugby and Harlequins rugby, in that order. I'm a fanatical England supporter, and I'm the same with Harlequins. I have a season ticket, so it means that I go every other week, although sometimes, depending on the schedule, you might miss a couple of weeks and then go 2 weeks on the trot. But yeah, but I'm, like I say, I'm a season ticket holder. There's 4 of us, all season ticket holders. We all go together. It's very rare we go without one of the 4. That's me, my wife Kim, my brother Kelvin, and his young lady Louise. We all get on really well, and it's a great blast. We get down there and we have a couple of drinks. We meet lots of friends we've got down there. And that's built up. We've been doing this. So me and Kelvin have been doing this, me and my brother. We've been going down there for the best part, I'd say easy 20 years. I think easily 20 years. I think even closer to 30 years. I seem to remember, so I'm 60 now, I seem to remember going when I was 30, in my 30s. So, and maybe even earlier than that. So, yeah, so me and my brother have been going for a very long time. We eventually decided that it would be really nice to have our ladies along with us. So that's what we did. So we got them season tickets. It was a little bit of a surprise, but they love it. They absolutely love it. So we've been going. They've been coming with us for about 6 years, and it seems to be going really well. The last thing in relation to the rugby, as well as love it, and being passionate about England and Harlequins, we are going to the Six Nations in March to watch England play Italy in Rome. We did this about 4 years ago, about 4 years ago. It was fantastic, and we've always said we'll do it again. So that's what we're going to do. So come Six Nations, we'll be doing that. And we're going to be spending a lot of time around each other's houses watching the World Cup in September, and I hope everybody else is as well. Brilliant game, well worth getting interested in. My second hobby that didn't really come around for quite some time. I did my degree in social work, so it was kind of like social studies, in order for me to be a social worker. And I did that when I was 54 years old. Talk about a late developer. But I really enjoyed it, And what it did was, it opened up. I used to read a lot, history, fantasy books, pretty much anything I could get my hands on. I really loved reading Bernard Cornwell's, Sharps. I read all the Rats. I think there's a trilogy of the Rats, which was brilliant. I can't remember the guy who wrote those books now, but brilliant books. So I did that prior to my second hobby, which is studying, and I only learned about studying because of the degree I did, and it's very simple. There's quite a difference between reading and studying. The difference for me, and I'm sure most people would agree with this, and if you don't, please tell me, because I'd like to know what you think. When you read something, you go, oh, that's nice, or that's interesting, and that's pretty much where that ends. You might say, I'm interested in that period or that subject, and get more books and read, or I'm interested in that writer and get more books and read more of that books. Studying, for me, is when you start questioning what you've read. You question and you challenge, and then you look at it and you say, well, is this true? Did this actually happen? Could this have happened? What do other people say about it? Do they agree with this person's point of view? And you can do this with, even if you're reading fantasy books, which I do. And I will look to see where this story comes from. Not unlike things like the Great Flood, which I'm actually reading about now, and how it's developed, this theory around the Great Flood, Noah and the Ark. But there were other stories very, very similar to this story. So Gilgamesh, the epic poem, that also had a flood. There's also like stories of great floods which sort of ended generations to start new generations. And there's stories in China which have done the same. India, the Egyptians had their own like flood stories. So, but you see what I'm saying? When you're studying, you start looking at, okay, so that's what you say. So is there someone else? What do other people say about it? Do I believe it? Could it have happened? That type of thing. So, yeah. So studying is my second one. Now, the third and last one, I could have picked any of these. I could have picked drinking. I love a glass of beer and cider. Love a glass of wine, we experiment with lots of beers. So I could have done that. I could have done politics. Very interesting politics, especially now with Brexit, which I think has. I know lots of people complain about Brexit. I'm not saying I'm for or against. And what I'm saying is lots of people have complained about Brexit, but they've suddenly become very interested in politics, and I think that's a good thing. So whatever your thoughts are, tough. People are getting into it. You're going to have to roll with it. Politics has really. Brexit has opened. It's been like a key, which has opened the door for thousands, millions of people who are suddenly interested in politics, and I think that's a good thing. My garden, not gardening. That's very different from my garden. My garden, I've done decking, I've done astroturf, I've done fencing, patio. My garden, so that could have been there. I could have picked DIY, going to the gym, YouTube, love watching YouTube, NFL, always, I've been avid follower of the NFL. I kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals, probably because of the colours. Any of these I could have picked. But the one which stood out and probably stands out above rugby and studying is walking. And the reason I enjoy walking so much is because I do it with my wife, my daughters, my friends. In actual fact, anybody who I enjoy spending time with, we do lots of walking. So they're my three main hobbies. I rather sneakily managed to throw in lots of others. I didn't want to go into the walking too much. I mean, just to say, I live in probably the best part of the world, Sussex. Then we've got the Sussex Downs. There are so many places you can go walking. You've got the coast. It's just beautiful. And in the summer, love it. So what now? So I've got to tag 3 other people, and I actually found this the more difficult of the tasks. It's not an easy thing to do because I don't want to miss anybody out. I mean, there are so many people that I've got to know, and so many people have influenced me. I mean, I'm just looking. I wrote down a very small list of people I could have picked. Like Fraser, Ralph, Leon, Jim, Nick, Hugh, Dan, Justin, Richard. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So what I decided to do was go to my last video, write down the names of everybody who had made a comment on that last video, throw them in a hat, pull them out. And I thought, yeah, that's the way to go. So that's what I've done. So my first one, so the first one to be tagged, so now you have to follow on the tag. So you have to talk about 3 hobbies that you're interested in, and identify 3 other people who you would like to tag. And that's another reason actually why I'm not worried about not choosing those people whose names I've just mentioned or anyone else's, because 3 tags, I think everybody's going to get a chance to say what they're interested outside of our hobby. So the first one is Frost and Fist, Wolf Brother Mythos. Love his stuff. He's always upbeat, always cheery. Great to listen to him, and I'm not sure if it's his brother or his mate. I think not being rude, I think his name is The Freak. And it's great. I just really enjoy their channel. So I tag you guys. Okay. Second, I've chosen Sean from Seano's World of Figures. Again, really nice guy, really lovely videos. He does some really nice videos, beautiful painting. He seems like a really genuine nice bloke. So Sean, you're tagged. And last one, now this one's quite an interesting one because he's quite new to my channel, and he hasn't got many videos like of his own. I think he's got about 200 videos, and it's, if I can pronounce this correctly, it's Grano Prigo, and he's doing some really nice stuff. I'm going to do a shout out for this guy anyway. He's got some very nice stuff going on, beautiful painting. If you've not been to Grano Prigo, please go there and have a look and subscribe. Yeah, let's get this guy's figures up, their numbers up a bit more. You're tagged. So that's me. That's the end of my that's the end of me talking about my hobbies. Let's hear what you've got. Let's see what you're doing when you're not painting soldiers, playing war games, and making videos. All the best then. Take care. Bye bye.